Hey, how's it going, everyone? And welcome back to another edition of Film Forum. This is our news show that we do every Tuesday and Thursday over here on the FilmSpeak channel. And I am, of course, your host, Griffin Schiller. And if this is your first time checking out one of our videos over on FilmSpeak, we like to say here that the conversation continues after the credits. And so if you want to be a part of that conversation, you're definitely in the right place. Consider subscribing to the channel. So we got a lot to touch on today. Sorry for delay here in the stream and whatnot. I had an incident with a cat that I needed to take care of. So it caused us to be a little late here. But hopefully we all have a good time talking about movies and stuff, and especially Tyler's recent Variety article and stuff. But yes, of course, I don't do these alone. I am joined by two incredible guests today. First and foremost, the man of the hour himself, the guy who has gone viral off of this recent Variety article, Mr. Tyler Tompkins. Tyler, how is your 15 minutes of fame treating you?
It's great. It's great. 15 minutes lasted a lot longer than I thought it would. I handled it pretty well. I think I handled it pretty well. Total blast. But in all seriousness, that was crazy, man. I didn't really expect them to headline me with it, I guess. I thought I would just be like in one sentence of the article, just totally nuts. But yeah, it was really cool, really cool. Happy to be here.
Yeah. For sure. And it's a special day because it's my birthday, so you get to be here for that. And we also have Kaleena here joining the special birthday stream. I guess it's not really a birthday stream, but you know, it happens to be my birthday and we are streaming, so I guess you can call it a birthday stream. But how are you doing?
Good. I didn't know that it was Griff's birthday because I'm a shitty friend, and I immediately made fun of him for his cat within seconds of being logged on, only to then awkwardly find out it was his birthday. So I think we're off to a good start.
Well, yes, obviously. It fits. It's appropriate. It was probably deserving. I mean, cats throw up and it's great. I love it. Anyways, so actually, you know what? Let's start with this stupid Variety article with Tyler. So yesterday, oh my God. I'm on the Sean Chandler podcast with Sean, and we're finishing up the stream, and I'm just like, over on Twitter, just checking to see what news and stuff was dropping. And I see that Variety published an article that's like, Tyler Tompkins is spending $220 to fly to Austin, Texas to see Tenet. He is like a devoted fan and everything. And I absolutely lost it. How you gotta explain how this whole thing went down and how that even happened.
Yeah, so I made a tweet about, I've been planning to make the trip to go see this movie. Because LA, their theaters aren't open, and I told myself I'm going to fly to wherever this movie's playing, and I knew Texas was going to be playing it for sure because the theaters have been open. So I made a tweet about a week and a half ago making fun of myself for buying a ticket to go to Austin just to see Tenet, be there for a few days to see it. And somehow a reporter from Variety saw that tweet. I guess she kind of searched, like movie theater, Tenet, blah, 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 flying. And she found my tweet, and I woke up to a message 2 or 3 days ago from her saying, like, hey, I'm doing a story on people who are flying to see Tenet. Would you be down for an interview? Like, oh, wow, this is so cool and so funny. Yeah, absolutely. So she called me from London. I kind of told her my whole story, and in my mind, I was thinking I would just be like in one sentence. It would just mention my name, like Tyler Tompkins from LA is going there. I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's cool. So I do it, and she emails me a couple of other times asking me other questions, like what the theater is, and very specific questions. So I was thinking, like, oh, this is kind of odd. And yesterday, I knew the story was going to break because that's when she told me it was going to break, but I did not expect to be like the headline of the article. I didn't know about it till you shared it, Griffin, because once you shared it, everyone saw it. And then my phone just kind of started blowing up. I was like, whoa. So this is what it's like to kind of go like viral, I guess, within our friend group, like the movie group. But it was fun for sure. It's been fun reading like the positive comments, but more so the negative comments, because I knew that I was going to be coming for sure.
Dude,
so, like,
you've been getting dunked on like hardcore.
Yeah.
It's so
Really?
funny. Yeah,
it's been pretty funny. Like that, none of that bothers me or anything, but it's fun to be the subject of something like that and like experience it from that perspective. It's very interesting. But it was fun, for sure. Fun. A blast for sure. I'll always remember it. I hope Nolan sees it or something. Maybe I can get a job. That'd be sweet. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, but, for real.
No, yeah, very fun, very fun.
I think I'm really hoping that like after you see it, she does a follow up with you and they do a follow up piece on it. It would just
hilarious.
It would be so funny.
You know, it's funny too. I think the article actually did pretty good because they keep circulating it, and she even posted like for her. I think it was one of her biggest articles too, because like the Onion did a parody article of that. It was like these,
what?
It was like yeah, it was. She shared it this morning, and the Onion was like, these refugees coming in from a boat to go see Tenet, like making fun of the entire thing.
Oh
like, whoa.
My god!
So it's done pretty good, I think, which is cool.
Bro, that's like
oh my god!
I would die to be involved in an Onion article. That's like my dream.
Yeah, it's so funny, right? I thought it was real, but then I saw the Onion. I was like, oh, okay. So, yeah, she was really excited about it, and I thought it was really cool. So cool to see people are actually reading it.
Oh my god, that's funny. Yeah, I've seen it like circulate quite a bit. Like I saw it like discussing film, pick it up. I mean, obviously retweeting some stuff like some of the editors at major publications like at IndieWire and other places like that. Yeah, people are responding to it in a funny way, and I think it's just the absurdity of like the way it was framed. Like I guarantee you she went into this and she's like, oh, it'll just be like a compilation of everyone, but then she's like, I can really sell this off of this one guy like flying to another state.
No, I know,
spending over $200 to see Tenet. Like I think
she was excited about that. Like, and like she was super nice, and she told me from the get go this was not like to make fun of me or anything. Like this was to celebrate the art form of cinema and people who are passionate enough to go see it. But I think she was excited about it because I would tell her certain details, and she'd get like, "Oh, this is great! Wow, this is like really good."
she knew what she had as soon as she started talking to you. Like, how did that? Wait, how did that? That whole conversation go? Like, I mean, we
talked for like 20 minutes. Yeah, it was like it seemed like I kind of wanted to be friends with her after because she was so nice, and it didn't feel like an interview, you know, and like it was just casual conversation, and she was even excited to go and see the movie. Of course, it's out over in the UK, so. But,
had she seen it?
No, I think she saw it yesterday. She said she was seeing it Wednesday, so I think she already saw it.
You should totally follow up with her and just be like, thank you for this. And thank you for
I did. No, she sent me an email. She sent me an email yesterday checking in on me, which was super nice. She was like, hey, you know, sometimes our articles get a lot of, you know, people come in and hate on others, and you know, it's pretty intense. Are you okay? And I was like, oh, I'm fine.
Oh,
like, this is great. Like, this is so awesome. Thank you so much. Like, please keep it going. Like, let's get this thing going as long as we can. Like, this is awesome.
All right.
So,
damn,
really nice
awesome.
lady. Yeah.
No, that's great. I'm glad to hear that she like checked up on you and everything, and like they went through the proper measures and stuff like that. I remember when you like texted Zach and I, and you were talking about like, oh, we're going to or you basically like laid out what was happening, and you know, we both assumed, oh, you'd just be featured in a larger piece.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm just like kind of curious, like that whole thing. I guess it was like through that interview, she was like, "Oh, we have to make this like a whole thing." Well, and I guess when you were talking to her, knowing you, did you like exaggerate on like everything, just making it like, you know?
Not really. I think I just sounded excited because she made it like really comfortable, and I just kept saying, I was. You know, I was very enthusiastic for sure, but I didn't like oversell anything to make myself sound, you know, cool or anything like that. But I just kept saying like, you know, I cannot wait to see like huge Nolan fan. I just feel like in evangelical Nolan.
Nolan.
I didn't say that or anything, but I think it's just because I kept saying like over and over. I was like Nolan movies are meant to be seen on the big screen. This is why I'm doing that. He's one of the few filmmakers, you know, who like you have to experience it on the big screen. I think she really liked that, and clearly so.
Oh my God, please get that. I think Kaleena said it best. Please get that tattooed on your body somewhere. Even
I know, right.
Nolan fan.
Right on the head.
Oh man, that's so good. So good.
Oh yeah, it's perfect. Yeah.
Oh my God. That's good. That's really, really good. I can't believe, I still just can't believe that they did an entire article on you, but you know what? Leverage it, man. Use it like the best you can. Just like when people are like, oh, what are interesting facts about you? Just like literally pull out that article. It's like,
well, you know, it's funny too. It's funny. I shared it on all social media because I mean, like, when does this ever happen? And a lot of people on Instagram didn't even think it was me. They were like, "Is that you?" I was like, "Yeah, it's me. Yeah. Yes, it's me." Yes.
Oh my god!
Texted me the link. At first, I was like, "Holy shit, this is amazing!" But then I was like, low key mad because I did the same thing when Interstellar came out in 2014. I was living in Houston at the time, but I wanted to see it in all 6 formats. So Houston was showing like 1 format. I drove to Austin, which was 3 hours at the time, to go see it in 70 millimeter. I flew to Boston, I think, to go do like the Imax 70 millimeter or something. So I so like deeply understood the heart of your story.
No, it's so much cooler than me. Yeah, mine was just dumb luck. It's just really dumb luck.
It's just because of this. It's because of this whole Tenet debacle, which I actually do want to get into a little bit. But yeah, the entire just lead up, the release strategy, all of the BS that's surrounding Tenet, and like it's how we get stories like this, you know, running in a trade. Yeah. So it's so funny. All right, before we move on, good friend Zach Pope is in here saying, since it's your birthday, thank you for that again. I really appreciate that. He's saying, what is the best birthday party scene you have ever seen in a film? That's a great question, and fuck, I don't know if I have an answer for that at the moment.
I would say like the entirety of Project X. I think that it's one of my favorite like comedies.
Best party scenes?
Yeah, I mean, like, this is just full of party scenes, the whole movie.
Immediately.
What'd you say?
Wolf of Wall Street, and specifically that gif of Leo like popping.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. Man, this
birthday party specifically.
What's the one where Will Ferrell gets tranked by the? Is it Will Ferrell? It's like what? It's like Sean. No, it's like Sean William Scott tranks him. And he's like the dart, man, and he like starts falling over into like the pool or something. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yes, you know what you're talking about.
Oh, man, I'm really blanking on this one. The Wolf of Wall Street has, yeah, that one's good. I mean, literally all the party scenes in The Great Gatsby are fantastic. Like I love those so much. You know, not like necessarily iconic, but I love in Big Fat Liar where he goes to the house and he's all blue and the kids just flat out annihilate him. That one's like, if we're talking like birthday parties, that one is so funny. Yeah. It's so funny.
That is funny.
God damn. Okay, so let's move on to the next topic. Well, actually, I guess we'll just move into the main topic of today because we're already 12 minutes in and it feels weird not to have talked about the main topic. But we'll come back to Tenet. We will come back to Tenet. So basically, earlier today, 20th Century Studios, I hate that I have to say that now. I hate that I can't say 20th Century Fox. But basically, Disney and 20th Century Studios have decided to push back the release date for Matthew Vaughn's Kingsman prequel, The King's Man. So starring, Ray Fiennes and Matthew Good. Jimon Hansu is in there as well. I was really looking forward to it. I'm a massive fan of the Kingsman films, and like seeing them go back in time to the prequel, to the establishing like the order of the Kingsman. It's a World War I film. It's got like Rasputin in there. I mean, it looked like a lot of fun. And so now they're going to be pushing it back to February of 2021. So that's a little bit of a bummer, and I think it kind of will dictate what the rest of the fall movie season is like. Because after Tenet, we really don't have anything. Mulan is coming, onto Disney Plus here in a couple of weeks. But it's like it really is the New Mutants, Tenet, and then a massive gap with nothing. And I'm curious like how this is really going to affect the theater going experience, given the fact that we're just like getting back into going to movies again. I guess Kaleena, starting with you. I mean, obviously I don't know if you're even excited for this movie, but like with the delay, do you think it's the right move? And then like what sort of implications do you think this has for, the fall movie season?
Sure. To be honest, you couldn't have paid me to even know this movie was coming out this year. I think the Kingsman movies are really overrated. I think they just feel like a dick measuring contest. I don't think they're as fancy and stylistic as everyone says they are. I also don't like watching Taron Egerton on screen. I don't know why. I think he's very talented, but I just feel annoyed when I have to look at him. So
Weird. I don't know what that's all about.
I feel the same way about Jennifer Lopez and Jennifer Lawrence for that matter. I don't know. I just I've tried really hard to get into the Kingsman movies and I can't get as excited as everybody. And then I was really, really annoyed to learn that the prequel was just called The King's Man. I feel like no one really worked too hard on that.
Yeah. I mean, like, it was like, yeah, they probably could have been. I don't know. I don't know what else they would have called it. Like Kingsman, the beginning. I don't know. I prefer it over just like the Kingsman Origins or some stupid title like that.
But I don't know. But in terms of the implications, I mean, I feel like it's hard to say. I don't think this film specifically is going to be like, all right, well, the Kingsman is delayed. I'm just expecting that probably nothing is really. I'm very, very curious to see if they're going to stick with the October release for Wonder Woman 1984, which is and has been my most anticipated film, even over Tenet. I think that one being a big superhero movie. I don't think Black Widow has left its November spot yet. I think they're still trying to hold on to that. So I think
I do think that's going to go to they're going to do the same thing with that they are doing with Mulan. I feel like if they're going to do it with a Marvel movie, that's probably the one that they can do it with. And then also I would imagine that this Disney Premier Access thing isn't just like a fancy whatever just for Mulan. That feels a little weird. So I feel like they're probably strategizing. They'll probably do a release with Black Widow like that, and then also probably with Soul, I'm imagining.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm very curious to see, because at this point we're getting into what would naturally be the beginning of our award season, kind of getting into September here. This is when our jobs would start getting really busy. So I'm very curious to see how the next couple of months are going to roll out. But in terms of the King's Man being pushed back, I don't think that's necessarily a specific determining factor that's going to lean me one way or the other.
Yeah, I guess the only thing that really is like any sort of implication is that like it just leaves a bigger gap in the market. So I don't know. I mean, I guess like if Tenet is literally the only thing playing in theaters, it's just going to keep raking in the money. I'm sure people will want to go and see it on repeat viewings, but I don't know, Tyler, does this kind of bum you out? And then also same question to you, like what sort of implications do you think this has going forward?
I mean, I do want to see the movie. I think it looks pretty good, but to me, like, I didn't know that was news. I thought it was already delayed. I didn't think it was still coming out in September. So I'm not shocked, but it does suck. It does leave a huge gap. It's good for Tenet. I feel like it's just going to be kind of sporadic for the rest of the year. They probably will be really spaced out. I do expect a few other movies to be delayed, but I do hope Wonder Woman still comes out. I hope that's like the next, because like Kaleena, I think it's going to be my top 10 of the year. That looks so good.
In Wonder Woman?
Trailer, yeah.
Chris Pine has yellow pants in the movie. That it will not leave my top 10. He has parachute pants. He doesn't know what a trash can is. I'm so fucking excited.
No, I mean, I listen, I get it. I think it looks excellent. That trailer definitely sold me even more on the film and stuff. But
I guess like the strategy right now, to me, at least what I think is that they're gonna have like Tenet, then they'll have a few smaller movies like Unhinged that come out in between, and then you'll have like a big blockbuster like Wonder Woman. So after Wonder Woman, there will probably be like a lot of small little movies, and then is like No Time to Die next, or did that get pushed?
No, that's not getting. Dude, I am still.
I think it's going to come out.
I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to come out. I really, really do now. Like after like seeing all of this and just the fact that Tenet is coming out and seeing that theaters in the UK and overseas are still opening. I have a feeling that Bond is going to hit that November release date.
And they said Tenet's like outpacing Interstellar and Dunkirk in ticket sales.
Ticket sales, which is
that's crazy.
Unreal.
Yeah,
Like
that's good. That's good.
Yeah, no, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. But yeah, no, I guess I don't know. I guess until Wonder Woman, like Tenet is realistically the only big tentpole film. I am curious to see how many other, like smaller movies or mid-budget films like do end up going to theaters. Like I don't know if there's another Unhinged in the market that we don't know about. Because that film actually did really well in drive-ins and stuff where it came out. So
Is that
I don't
Russell
know.
Crowe's movie?
What'd you say?
Is that Russell Crowe's movie?
Yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. But anyways, guys, what do you think about all this? Are you kind of bummed that the Kingsman is getting delayed to February of 2021? Let us know down in the comments section below. Okay. We're gonna move on and we're gonna move back to Tenet, actually, because I feel like we just keep dancing around it and we just kind of need to address it. And it's nothing like specific. It's just the entire like debacle surrounding the release, the press junkets, Nolan as a filmmaker and his place in cinema history and stuff like that. So I guess the press screenings for this film have been really weird. The way that they've sort of been going out about doing it, it just feels a little like they don't entirely know what they're doing. And then also they canceled the press junket today in solidarity with the I believe the murder of I forget the guy's name who was just killed. Yes, thank you. So they did that in solidarity, and I think Kaleena, you were talking before we started streaming that you're like Nolan has to be really careful right now because he's already sort of like agitated some people with how he's been forcing this film to like come out and whatnot, and people are kind of like is it the right move? Like we're kind of in this weird state of limbo where it's like, should things open, should we just close them back down again, and all this stuff. And Nolan, being the crusader of cinema that he is like, well, no, I want to put this out there so that the theaters can survive a little longer and all that stuff like that. And I was actually talking to my friend a little bit about it yesterday, and I think some people think that it's coming from a place of ego and arrogance so that he can literally say that he's the savior of cinema. I don't think he thinks like that at all. No. I feel like he's just genuinely passionate and wants to help in any way he can. That being said, I do feel there is a weird it's weird that this film is not playing in drive-ins in states where theaters aren't open. I feel like, yeah, I understand being able to see it on the big screen is the optimal experience. It's what he wants, but it's also like you need to compromise where you can, right? And so there's just a lot of head scratching going on regarding the release of Tenet and this sort of like build up. And so, Kaleena, I kind of want to get your take on it. And really nothing specific, but just sort of like how you're feeling about it. Do you think that this is going to hurt him in the long run or whatever?
Yeah, so I mean, I want to start by saying I'm definitely heavily biased towards the situation because one, I think it's going to depend where we're at regionally. I'm in Chicago. We've somewhat kept COVID, I would say not under control, but maybe just controllable. And so our theaters were not down long. The theater that I work at was reopened like first week of July. We didn't get shut down until about mid-March, so we weren't closed that long. Bigger chains like AMC just opened this past week. Regal opened about 2 weeks ago. So we've had accessibility for quite some time now. I've been back at the movies almost weekly, pretty much since the beginning of July. So I'm definitely in favor of cinemas opening, but that's very much a product of my personality. It's me being biased because I work in a movie theater, and it's me being biased because I work in the film industry. So I want it to survive. I want people to have jobs. Pre-COVID, we were already worried about, is the theatrical experience kind of dying down? Is streaming and kind of the financial savings going to take over? So I've been a big proprietor for trying to get films released and event movies, as we call them, like a Marvel movie or a Wonder Woman or a Tenet or a Bond movie. I do think those should be in theaters. And I agree. I don't think that Tenet was, or I don't think that Nolan was trying to be a, savior of cinema. Like, I think he knows his pull, right? He knows his audience. Yeah. Nolan doesn't have to worry about whether or not his movies are going to perform well at the box office. He sticks with his brand. People know that they can expect intelligent movies with an all-star cast and a great score. Like it's guaranteed, you know? So the reason that I say I think he has to be really careful with this final marketing push is because the tabloids, however you want to phrase it, they pulled a bunch of quotes and created headlines that just formed this narrative around Nolan that I don't think he deserved and I don't think he was going for. And then I think then in speaking to try to contrast it, I think he kind of turned up the heat a little bit. In order to kind of dig himself out of the hole that he didn't even necessarily put himself in, he has to be pretty careful about what he's saying and what his brand and his message is on this press tour. And if he's making appearances on local TV shows and morning shows and podcasts or whatever he's doing, he needs to be really clear about why he's taking the time to do that and not just because he's at home because we're in a pandemic. You know what I mean? So I think it should be playing in drive-ins. I think if he is going to be pushing to have it in theaters, it should be accessible. When I saw the 70mm Inception screening that had that 14-minute Tenet thing connected to it, the big thing was like, you have to have the Dolby sound, you have to have the surround sound. I get it, and I get that you don't have that at a drive-in, but I think right now what's more important is making it accessible safely to people. And if they like it and if the film does well, then people will come back, or Warner Brothers can then take that and push for a proper re-release in theaters maybe a year from now.
Yeah, for sure. Tyler?
Yeah, I don't think it should be released in drive-ins at all. I like
really?
Yeah, okay. No, not at all. I've been to the drive-in many times, and you know, it was good. It was good during when COVID was crazy, but like, it's just not the same. Like the screen is much darker. You have control of the volume. I don't know about y'all, but when I see a Nolan movie in IMAX, like it's so loud. Like it's so like he has complete control over like, you know, how he wants the movies to be seen. And I think it's a smart move, to be honest. And I think my hope is that it gets like, you know, these cities who are still like LA and New York. I hope it gets them to open up their theaters, because I think it's okay to have them open. I really do. Like you have these big names like Tom Cruise, who just posted that video of going to the theater, which was just awesome. Like that was a great video. I think videos like that are really good, and I think it's just time. I think it's time to open up the theaters. I do. I really think it's okay to do it. I think.
Well, coming from the man who has the Variety article about traveling to
well, I really do though, and I think the drive-in is just not. I don't know. I wouldn't want to see a new, even if it was playing here and I wasn't going to Texas, I would not go see it at a drive-in. I would not do it.
Here's the thing. We are living in unprecedented times, and no one really knows how to adapt or go forward or continue to do whatever. And if they're going to be adamant, if no one's going to be adamant about releasing this movie in mostly theaters, why wouldn't it be okay for the areas that are most affected to still be able to enjoy this film and see it on a big screen, even though it's like maybe not optimal? And you know, with this film, considering the fact that it is like, you know, really high concept and probably will require repeat viewings, you know, it might encourage people to go, I don't know, like drive to Vegas or whatever if they live in LA and go see the movie in theaters after they've already seen it in drive-ins. And here's the other part of this. Excuse me. The other part of this is that the majority of people, like general movie-going audiences, don't care about the format that they see this movie in. They're more concerned with the story. They're more concerned with the spectacle. They're more concerned with, you know, what is the experience like giving them from just like a narrative standpoint? And it was like, oh, did I enjoy that movie? Was it good? They don't necessarily care about the format that they're seeing it in. Now, obviously, that's not always the case. There are people who do, you know, they want to go and see that film in IMAX or Dolby and get that like complete immersion. But I mean, I feel like there are a lot of people who would be perfectly fine watching this from their home. So
yeah, I think it's the same. I think it's like the same argument of like making it accessible. It's like, well, why not release it on VOD? It's just like it's just not the same. You know, I feel like it's a very similar argument.
Well, I don't know if I feel like
because the driving, like you can be on your phone, you can walk around, like people have their headlights on. It's just like it's really it can get like really distracting. Like when I saw the tax collector, it was like, I mean, the movie wasn't that good, but it was still just like people were going nuts the whole time. It's like this is just.
I also think if you have a good movie though, that will limit, you know, the amount that people are on their phones or whatever. I mean, it's the same thing when you're watching a movie at home. People are on their phones. It's like if it's a good movie, they won't be on their phones. But like I understand the argument. I think that this is a little bit different because you're still getting a theatrical experience. It's not saying like, you know, if the movie goes straight to VOD, then most people are not going to go out to the theater and go see it, you know, because they can just watch it from home. But if you're going to drive-ins, you're still like granting people the theatrical experience. It's just different, and it's safe because you're social distancing and you're still able to have like, I don't know. I mean, it is different, and I understand what you're saying, and it's not optimal. And yes, I would obviously love to see this film in 70mm IMAX, but I feel like there are just some instances where they should be compromising. It's like, okay, if we can't show this in theaters here, maybe we consider doing drive-ins. But I don't know. That's just sort of my thoughts on that.
It is for sure fair. Yeah, it is for sure fair.
Yeah, for sure. Kaleena, I didn't know if you had anything to add to that, but.
No, I mean, I don't think any of us are wrong in our argument. You know, like I think we all mutually feel the same way about it. Like if any of us had a choice right now, we would all go sit in a giant fucking IMAX theater and watch this in 70mm.
Yeah,
right. I understand both of your points, and like I said, personally, I just feel for people who miss the movies, I would be happy for people to have the option to see it on a screen bigger than their living room TV, whatever that may be.
Yeah, that's true. But anyways, I guess are you guys going back to like the whole like Nolan thing right now? How much press do you think that we get about Tenet? You know, like how much do you think he does? I mean, I know he's done a few interviews with like predominantly UK based publications like Total Film, Empire, and stuff like that. Do you think we get any like because I mean, aside from being involved in the space, I really enjoy watching the interviews just to like sort of like get any sort of tidbits as to like what he was thinking about during the production of the film, or like, you know, some people that have seen the film, they come in and they ask really interesting questions that aren't just like, so tell me about this story. Like it's, I don't know, like that's one of the things that I love about like the pre-release of movies and the build up there. But yeah, Tyler, go ahead.
Yeah, well, what's interesting, I didn't expect them to do this, but before Inception, they played like this huge featurette of like the making of Tenet, which was awesome. Yeah. And they released that online like yesterday.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
I didn't expect that to happen. So I feel like that's kind of like, here you go. Like, here's this, you know? So I really don't think there's going to be that much press, which sucks because I do like to watch the interviews as well. And I was hoping that there would be some with like John David Washington, Robert Pattinson, and all of them. But it seems like they're kind of shying away from it. And I don't really think it's going to happen.
Without going into too much detail, I know he's doing some press here in the States. How much, I don't know. And I know the cast is doing some of it too, but I agree that I think it's going to be pretty limited. And that just makes me drive my point home even more. Like if they are going to be very selective with how much press they're doing, what regions they're doing the press for, they need to have an entire publicity team behind them being like, this is your very clear message that you out there, you know, because we're kind of at that breaking point where anything that Nolan says in the next 4 weeks can really alter whether or not the movie's going to be successful. Because even kind of just scrolling through our comments on the side here, there are a lot of people who are not comfortable going to theaters still, and that's completely understandable and completely justified. So for people who might be on the edge and may have a theater they can go to, if they're not careful about how they present themselves this next month, that may sway people to not go.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. I don't know. I guess I am curious to see like how many long form interviews he ends up doing, like how many podcast interviews or stuff like that. I mean, I assume he'll do a few like virtual junkets. Or I don't know. Are they going to be? Do any of you know if they're going to be virtual or whether they're
doing ones?
All right. Yeah. I don't know. I'll just be interested. It'll be interesting to see how that whole thing shakes out.
It's probably best not to do too much. You know what I mean? Like it's probably best to like stay as quiet as possible. The whole situation, because it's easy. It's gonna be easy to ruffle feathers.
Oh, for sure. And they don't want to risk doing that. The message is just like, go see Tenet in theaters and stuff like that. But anyways, guys, if you have any thoughts and opinions on Tenet, the release debacle that's sort of going on with this film, Nolan's strategy and mentality regarding it, let us know down in the comments section below. I do see some people in the chat are talking about it. Let's see. I think 402 was saying, I know someone who works at a theater near me, and they say that it is extremely slow for the theater. So hopefully, Tenet or something can kind of like, well, I guess I believe you live in New York, right? And so I that might be a little bit different. I don't know if Tenet is going to necessarily play there, but if it does open up there, that could be something good that helps boost the economy there for that and whatnot. And then they also, 402 also was saying, I'm thinking this could be Nolan's most divisive film. My friend saw it and says lots of people won't like it.
I heard the same.
I think I've been seeing the same because Tenet is currently sitting at like an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes or something like that, which is far lower than I think any of us really expected. However, like, I don't know, you have those people that you trust when you go see films, and like some of the people that I know who have seen it and like after seeing their reactions, I'm like, okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna like this. And I don't know. I mean, listen, it's Nolan, so the least we can say is that it'll give you something to talk about and think about for a while afterwards. But I do have a feeling that people are gonna get too caught up in the minutia of it. Like, people are gonna like dig too deep, and it's funny because the film, from my knowledge, actually says like just don't even try to understand it, just focus on like the story. And then, of course, what do people do? They try and understand the mechanics and the logic.
That's a thing to say, though. Like, don't try to think too much into my complicated.
But I think, but listen,
focus on the dead wife.
Well, but listen, but I think it's a fair statement because look at Inception, like. And I remember when that film came out and everyone was like, oh, my mind is blown. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And I'm just like, what? Just don't think about the logic of the world. Like, yeah, the rules and everything are there. And yeah, it's like very high concept and whatnot. But if you just focus on the story, it's a very like, emotional narrative that and at the end, it doesn't matter what the mechanics are or the logic or whatever. It's like, I think people, and I was having this conversation yesterday with my friend Brody. I think people always think that he's like he's the logic filmmaker that is like, he's all about high concept and psychology and like, just like being, he's into making very smart movies. And while that is true, I feel like people think he's more caught up in like the logic than he actually is. He's actually a very like emotions first filmmaker. Literally watch anything he's ever made. And I mean, he obviously has an obsession with time. I think he has like a draw to people who like want to return to a certain state, whether that be like, a frame of mind, a physical place or whatever. And I think, what people claim that he does is actually something that J.J. Abrams does. And it's something that J.J. Abrams is like focused too much on, like, logistically, okay, how does this point like tie to that one? Is like, do we explain this enough in the details? And it's just like very detail oriented and focused all on the logic, where I think like Nolan, he's got it's all there. He paints it in very broad strokes, but it's like that's not the focus of it. It's all about the emotional weight of hammering this stuff down. So I know we kind of had this discussion a couple weeks back talking about, is he an emotionless filmmaker? Is he an emotionally cold filmmaker? And I've just sort of rejected that notion. But yeah, anyways, I don't know. Did you guys, I had a little bit of a tangent there, but I don't know if you guys had anything to add on that one.
No, I'm with you.
No, I agree. Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful. I like when that happens. I love when we're all in agreement. It's great. It's great.
Can I just simply say I appreciate the numerous amount of comments that are like, is that the Tyler Tompkins on your show?
Oh, really?
There we go.
Oh, my goodness.
Zeke's in here saying, Jesus Christ, is that the Tyler Tompkins?
That's like the fourth person who's been like, is that the variety Tyler Tompkins?
Yeah.
It's me.
Yeah.
It's me.
Oh, man. That's funny. That's funny. Let me see.
Company today, Griff.
Listen, it's people.
There's a reason he's in the middle.
Yeah, of course. Look, here it is. It's the Tyler Tompkins, ladies and gentlemen. The Tyler Tompkins. No, but going up here, Kieran Douglas, who actually got a chance to see Tenet, his short review is exceptionally innovative. exciting and very, very satisfying. Met all expectations, and I'm pleased. I think it really does require third or fourth viewings to pick everything up. Yeah, that's
I feel like that's how I'll feel like after seeing it.
Yeah. No, for sure. I like that you liked it though. It's good to hear that. Let's see if there's any more questions in here before we move on. Damon in here saying, cleaning my room. I will watch later. Lol, but happy birthday, Griffin. Tyler's famous. We love to see it. Kaleena is back. Icon. Thanks so much, man.
Wow, thank you.
You've reached icon. Tyler Tompkins is the Tyler Tompkins. You've reached icon status.
I'm not an icon. No.
Yeah, but listen, thank you very much. I appreciate the happy birthday message. That means a lot. Okay, let's see. There was one more that I wanted to get to here. Yeah, okay, so Jaron Talks Movies saying, do you think Nolan will ever take a look back and work on a project like his earlier works, such as Memento, that presents a big idea in a smaller story, or just will he keep making movies that keep getting bigger and bigger? Kaleena, I'm going to throw this to you first.
Yeah, I kind of... questions like this always irk me a little bit, and no offense to you, Jaron. I'm not implying that you irk me, but I
see, Jaron. You've irked her. You fucked up, buddy. You fucked up. There we go.
No, I just because at the end of the day, his question basically boils down to growth, right? Like he's making big blockbuster event movies because he's grown as an artist. He not only has the audience support behind him, he has the financial and studio support behind him, but this is a guy with big ideas that he wants to be big movies. We asked the same question of people like, Tom Cruise. Like every time someone that we like gets really big and does really big flashy things, we're always like, your flashy thing is so good. But what if you went back and did one of those smaller things? That's kind of like how we felt about Uncut Gems. Looking at Tyler's poster there, is everyone was so excited to see Adam get back to something like gritty in his drama work, which is so good. But I also love the fuck out of Billy Madison and Mr. Deeds and stuff. So it's it always gives me a little bit of pause when I hear questions like that, because it's almost like asking them to not take advantage of their progress and their growth as an artist. So while I understand the question, and I think it would be really cool to see him do something smaller, at this point I'm not mad when something like Tenet is happening, and I'm almost excited. Again, with Tom Cruise, we get excited. Oh God, what stunt is he going to do in the next Mission movie? I think there's a bit of a give and take with each, and I support him and his big ideas, and I think he's fine where he's at.
Yeah, for sure. Tyler?
No, I agree with everything you said, Kaleena. I think, of course, it would be kind of cool and interesting, I guess, to see him go back and do a smaller story, but I'm not dying for him to do that. I like to see his growth, and, like you were saying, when I think of Nolan, I think of spectacle and big. So I don't really think we'll ever go back and do something as small as Memento.
Yeah, I can't.
That's totally fine.
I don't think he needs to. I mean, he
didn't have to.
He did those movies so that he could make the movies that he's making now. I mean, honestly, like if he didn't want to make movies of the budget and size that he was making right now, he wouldn't be doing them. But I also think that's like part of the appeal to him. He's like one of the only filmmakers out there who can legitimately like sell an original high concept like spy action movie based off of his name alone. No one else can do that. No one else can do that. Even Spielberg can't do that these days. And that's saying something, because it's Steven fucking Spielberg. But it's like
dad, by the way, who died this week.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
We'll talk about Spielberg.
Oh, yeah.
We should honor his dad.
Yeah, right. Holy shit. Yeah. Oh, man. But anyways, we had to bring it down there. Yeah, for sure. But I like what Kieran Douglas said here in the chat. It reminds me of Damien Chazelle. He literally wrote and made Whiplash so that he had more negotiating power to La La Land. I mean, that's the thing. Like that's legitimately like there are filmmakers who want to do big blockbuster movies. I mean, like
James Wan.
I was literally about to say James Wan. Yeah, when we had that conversation with Lee Winnell, he was basically talking about, James made all of those really low budget, small, like cult smash hits and changed like the horror genre forever so that he could get to the point where he can make Aquaman. It's like ever since he knew him, he always wanted to be the next James. Lee said that James Wan always wanted to be the next James Cameron. And I think you see that in a film like Aquaman. So it's like the type of, I think you do. I think there's a lot of James Cameron in that film. There's a lot of horror elements. There's like the camp.
Bad movie qualities.
Well, there's the camp.
Not knowing that you can't eat flowers. So good.
Listen, I never said he was at James Cameron's level. I just said that I could see him channeling James Cameron. And I love Aquaman, so screw you.
Do you love Venom too? Like unironically?
I have fun with it. I really do. Like I think it's a little more self-aware than people give it credit for. I really do.
I mean, makes out with him. All right.
It's great. You love to see it. I love to see it. I just
watched Capone last night, so I'm very comfortable in my feelings about Tom Hardy right now.
Yeah, that's a very unpleasant film. I don't envy you for watching that. That's for sure. Hold on, let's see. There's one more question in here, and then I swear to God, we'll move on to the next topic. Okay, Tony Movie Chappie, D9 Neil Blomkamp, #1 fan, asking, what are your guys' thoughts on the whole controversy of the Netflix movie Cuties? So, in case you don't know what he's referring to, it was basically Netflix designed a poster and marketing material for this documentary on Cuties, which deals with like the sexualization of like young female gymnastic, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I could be entirely wrong about that. And then, Netflix put out this poster, and it was like very like, I got what they were doing with it, but it was not the right way to go. It was like literally, painting them in a very sexual light, which is the theme of the movie, but they probably shouldn't have done that as a marketing ploy. So it was so there was basically a big like outcry about it, as there should have been. And so then I believe they changed it. But yeah, I don't know. Did you guys hear about that at all?
Yeah, from my very limited research, very, very limited, all I saw was Tessa Thompson. I believe she tweeted about it. Yeah. And she was basically, I think what the problem was the way Netflix was marketing it. But from what I heard, it's actually like a really solid movie. At least that's what Tessa Thompson was saying. Yeah, that's what at the film festival. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's all I know. Like from my very limited research, so I really don't know what she said was true or. What?
Yeah, I mean, like I've heard from multiple people that it's an excellent movie. I believe it's a French documentary. But again, it just sort of came down to the inappropriate marketing. But yeah, I don't know, Kaleena, did you hear about this at all?
No, and when you said Cuties, I just immediately thought of like the tiny oranges, and I was completely unaware that it was about to go.
Yeah, totally.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Yeah.
The sounds horrible, and it's bad, but you know what? News is only news until it's not news anymore.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, feel free to keep sending questions in here, and we'll get to them, throughout the show. But we're gonna move on to our next topic. Excuse me. And then, so the next topic is going to be talking about Kelly Marie Tran. So Kelly Marie Tran is officially going to be joining Raya and the Last Dragon, which is the new film from Disney, the new Disney animated film that they kind of gave us a little tease from at D23 last year. And Kelly Marie Tran is going to be playing the lead in that movie. Really, I mean, just a typical casting announcement. But it's, listen, I'm looking forward to the film for a lot of reasons. I think the footage they showed us at D23 was breathtaking. The concept is really interesting and different. And I loved how it's, digging into, I believe, I can't remember whether it's Chinese or something. It's Chinese mythology or something like that. But I think it's going to be a really, really solid film. And like Awkwafina's already cast in it as like the dragon in the movie. So I think that'll be kind of fun. And then I'm just happy to see Kelly Marie Tran get more work. I mean, obviously I think she's had a hard time, after everything that happened due to, The Last Jedi and whatnot. And like they completely erased her character in The Rise of Skywalker. And I don't think she had a great time on it. And so like to see her just, sort of bounce back in this way and like be given like a proper, I guess, film to like star in and lead. She's the lead in the film. So I don't know. It's just nice to see. But Kaleena, I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on this at all?
Yeah, I think that Kelly Marie Tran is not a good actor. And that's my problem with the controversy. I think that because representation is such a problem in Hollywood, that people forget that it's okay to objectively be like, yes, but it doesn't mean that person's good. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we can still be allies for the right changes, but objectively, as people criticizing pieces of art, be like, well, that's not necessarily good. I don't think Kelly's a good actor, and maybe I haven't seen her in the right kind of vehicle, and maybe she needs to be paired with material that will allow her to flourish her skills. And so I acknowledge my own fault on that, and I give her benefit of the doubt for that. But I found her really uninteresting to watch on screen. She kind of came off as like a tryhard to me, and I didn't feel that was from her character. I felt that was her as a performer, and so I literally feel nothing one way or the other about this. I think it's good that they are, from what I'm hearing, if they're making casting changes, I think it's good to cast people of the culture that they're making a film about. That's important.
100%. Yeah.
And people like Kelly and Awkwafina are two names that are deserving of work like that. So I think overall, like on the spectrum, it's a good thing. Personally, it just doesn't affect me.
Yeah, for sure. Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't necessarily get me excited. I'm not excited or anything. I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, because I only know her from The Last Jedi, and I wasn't really a fan of her character in that movie. Just The Last Jedi in general. So I mean, I've only seen her from there. I probably need to see her in more, but I guess kind of like Kaleena. I mean, I'm not, I'm just kind of feeling whatever towards it. I'm excited for the movie. I think it's gonna be good. So yeah. I'm glad she got cast.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's like, if you didn't like her in The Last Jedi, or, you don't feel like she's shown her acting abilities, like I feel like this will be a good opportunity for people to see what she's capable of. I mean, granted, it's voice acting, but I think people can give really, obviously we know that people can give exceptional voice acting performances. So it's like, I want to see what she can do in a different medium like this. So it'll, I don't know, it'll be interesting to see for sure, at least. But yeah, I mean, I like the casting. I'm glad that it's again they're going with authenticity and people who know the culture and are championing representation and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I again, it doesn't affect my excitement for the film. I'm still very excited for it, but it's good to see that they're.
I'll say this: I'm more excited about the Awkwafina casting. I think she's gonna kill it.
Yeah, as the dragon. Yeah, for
she's
sure.
Very enthusiastic. I could see her being kind of like Eddie Murphy as Donkey. Like I think.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. No, I agree with you there. I think it'll be a good. I think it'll be. I think the chemistry between the two of them, honestly. I mean, again, I don't know if they're going to record in like the same space, just given what's going on. But if they are, I have to imagine that it'll be fun to sort of like bounce back and forth with them and whatnot. But anyways, guys, yeah, let us know down in the comment section below. Are you excited for Kelly Marie Tran joining Raya and The Last Dragon? We'd love to hear from you. Okay. Moving on to the next topic here, something I'm really excited about, and it's the I guess it's the announcement trailer for Anya Taylor-Joy's new Netflix series. I guess it's either a Netflix series or a film, but it's called The Queens Gambit, and I believe I'm just double checking right here. Yeah, it is a series, and so basically. It follows. If you guys haven't seen the trailer, go watch it. It's only like 50 seconds or so. It's really, really good. But anyways, the film portrays a young woman who is basically haunted by her personal demons and fueled by a cocktail of narcotics and obsession, and she transforms into an impressively skilled and glamorous outcast while determined to conquer the traditional boundaries established in the male-dominated world of competitive chess. So for those of you who don't know, the Queen's Gambit is a really popular opening move to make in chess, and people make it when they're attacking an opponent in the game and stuff like that. So I don't know. I feel like this teaser promises something new and interesting that we haven't seen from Anya Taylor-Joy before, and I really, really excited to see to her sink her teeth into a role like this. But Tyler, did you get a chance to check out the trailer, and are you excited for this?
I didn't see the trailer. I saw the images, had no idea what it was about, but I hope this launches Anya into the stratosphere. She's so freaking good, and I know she's been doing a lot of projects as of recently, but for some reason she hasn't reached that A level like A-list level. But yeah, I mean, I'm so there, and that sounds awesome. I had no idea it was about chess.
Yeah,
I'm not really a big chess player, but I like movies about chess. Like Pawn Sacrifice with Tobey Maguire was really good.
Okay, now tell
Bobby
me.
Fischer.
Oh yeah, the Bob
Yeah, it's because Toby. It's because Toby.
I was about to say it wasn't because of Toby.
Yeah, but no, I think, and you said it's a series or a movie. What is it?
I think it's a series, like a mini series or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait. I cannot wait. I think that's gonna be great.
Yeah, for sure. Kaleena.
I didn't know anything about it, but that trailer, I'm especially through the pandemic, I am gaining such an appreciation for people who cut trailers together because it's everything, right? It makes or breaks. Even with something like Tenet, the three of us could, we could hear that Nolan was making a movie. It was just 6 hours of someone dancing in a chicken suit. We'd be like, we're there, opening that, But with something like Tenet, if the trailer came out and it sucked, that would be huge, right? So me not knowing anything about the Queens Gambit and definitely not knowing anything about chess, I watched that trailer and literally out loud, I was like, I don't know what the fuck this is, but I'm very into it. It was just as sexy and it was kind of seductive and
yeah.
I don't know. It just looked like there's going to be trouble and some people are going to get fucked with, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, really. It feels like just like a really psychological, like. I love the way you phrase it, seductive. I think that was like the big thing that I got from it, and seeing Anya Taylor-Joy again in a role like this, where it's like going to be very meaty for her. I just want her to be bigger than she is. She's so good.
I really hope I hope she's Furiosa. Like I hope that's true.
Yeah, the casting of Furiosa.
I really hope that's true.
She was in the running to play a young Furiosa in the Mad Max prequel George Miller's working on.
They're doing a prequel to Mad Max?
Yeah, they're working on a Furiosa prequel. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. The concept isn't really interesting. I get that.
The casting has been pretty. Who's the guy? Didn't they say who was the guy that they said was?
So they're and we talked a little bit about this on the last stream, but they're actually eyeing Chris Hemsworth to play a character in the movie. It's
gonna be awesome.
Speculation is that it's like a mentor figure, but I feel like maybe it'll be like a mentor figure that turns evil at the end. I have no idea, but again, that's just rumor and speculation. But I really do hope Anya Taylor-Joy does get that part because I think she's perfect, and I can't wait to see her in New Mutants. I hear she steals the show in that film. Her and Macy Williams.
I'll let you know in a couple hours.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
You're making me go to this movie today.
Oh yes, that's right. I remember that. Holy shit.
Yeah,
Oh man. Well, anyways, I hope you enjoy New Mutants. Go ahead and rub it in my face. I don't think I'll be able to see it.
I don't want to.
You don't want to? Come on.
I really don't. I'm going because I'm on assignment.
Because you're on assignment. Oh, get out. You couldn't have said no. I flat out asked you, I was like, do you want to review New Mutants? And you were like, yeah, sure.
No, what did I say? I said, you're actually making me see this movie. Wait, I mean, yes, thank you for the opportunity.
You could have said no. Oh my god. Marshall Boy here with a super chat. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. Happy birthday, pimp. What made you gravitate towards 007 franchise the most? And for Tyler and Kaleena, what's your favorite franchise? So I'll give you the answer to the first part after they've finished talking. So Tyler, what's your favorite franchise?
Franchise of all time, Harry Potter. I like the Harry Potter series. Watch it like 2 or 3 times a year. Love it. If we're talking action, Mission Impossible, but Harry Potter's #1 for sure.
Does Marvel count as a franchise like the MCU, or is that
Yeah, I mean it's a franchise. Is that your favorite franchise? Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's
cool.
Is it solely because of Chris Evans?
60% because of Chris Evans, and
Okay.
40% because of the other stuff.
Okay, that's fair. If you had to choose something that wasn't the MCU, what would it be? Just like I'm actually genuinely curious.
Not Star Wars?
No, it could be. Okay, if it's not the MCU or Star Wars, what would it be?
Probably Mission.
Okay, all right, okay, cool.
What would you say?
Mission.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
But if it was not Mission, Star Wars, or MCU, we're not sure.
So what's the fourth option here? Can we?
Wait, what classifies a franchise? More than one,
Oh, sure.
or
I guess. I guess more than one, right?
Yeah, I would.
Then Horrible Bosses 1 and 2 is my favorite.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
I'm like low-key not kidding. I think those are two perfect.
I love Jamie Foxx in those movies.
Yeah. I like.
The second one has a joke about how pretty Chris Pine looks when he cries, and that was a joke that was written for me personally somehow.
Yeah.
And also Charlie Day Forever, and just Jason is just everything's great.
It's great. I don't think the second Horrible Bosses is good, but I do like the first one.
No, you're right. It's great.
I like 2 more than 1.
Or 21 and 22 Jump Street. Hilarious. 21 Jump Street.
Yeah, those are good.
That made me throw up from laughing so hard.
Throw up?
I like.
Okay, well now we have to hear this story.
So it was. All right, this is like not a super cute story, but it was one of my first R-rated movies because I'm a baby.
Okay.
And so I was super excited to go see it, and I thought it was the funniest shit ever. I was laughing so hard. We had just finished the end credits, and I had to go to the bathroom to get paper towels because I literally like had tears and my face was red and I couldn't catch my breath. And I just thought of one of the other jokes as I was walking to the bathroom, started laughing again, and just puked all over the floor.
What the fuck? How does that even happen?
Oh no.
Oh man. That's funny. Anyways, to answer the first part of your question, what made you gravitate towards the 007 franchise the most? I don't know if I have a specific thing. I mean, Casino Royale was just like a massively influential film like all my life, and I just remember watching it and rewatching it and rewatching it and loving it. I think I've always just had like I've always been drawn to espionage and spy movies and mysteries. I mean, again, I'm a big Hitchcock fan, and I think a lot of those early Bond films feel like the Terrence Young films, they feel like they're trying to channel Hitchcock. So like I feel like, and that's sort of like part of the reason why I like it. I also just really love like the real world sort of I guess the heightening of the real world that we see through the lens of like the Cold War and stuff like that, and the world of espionage. And then the character of Bond, I think, is just like really fascinating. I don't think he's as two-dimensional as people say he is. I think he's got a lot of depth to him, and we see that explored in the Craig films. So, but then the action's great, the adventure's fun. I mean, just sort of the class that comes with it, like the cars, the cocktails, the whatever, all that stuff. It's fun. And so I don't know, I've always just really enjoyed them, and I don't know if there's a specific reason why, but maybe some of those I don't know, the earlier reasons there. I just remember watching some of the Connery films and stuff. But yeah, no, I hopefully that answers your question good enough there. But thank you again for the super chat, really appreciate it. And then we'll get to one more question before we move on. So Dylan Nicholas Sandoval, Gillen asking, what's the point of delaying the Kingsman to 2021? Theaters are reopening this September. So that's actually something we didn't touch on when we were talking about the Kingsman. Like, why do you think they decided to do this in the first place? Because I don't think that it was like, it feels really weird for them to push it back, especially with Tenet opening, and if it's getting the theater going experience back into back in motion. I feel like this movie would have done well, considering the fact that there's nothing playing until Wonder Woman 1984 should that hit its release date. So I don't know. Do you guys have any idea why it got pushed back? What was that?
I said when it hits its release date. We're not putting that negative energy in the universe.
Okay, all right, fine. When it hits its release date. Well, okay. So why do you then think that it got delayed to 2021?
Well, because I think it's as simple as theaters are reopening this September. Theaters are not reopening wide this September. There's so many. The fact that the LA market is not open right now, that's like 50% of like where
that's fair. Yeah,
New York aren't open. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't think it's a smart financial move. There's no way to predict where we're not really close to a vaccine. Numbers aren't really going down for COVID. We're not really out of place in our country, in my opinion, where we can open wide and just kind of roll back into this. We haven't even been in this like 6 months yet. We're still very early into a pandemic. I think it makes sense to push certain things. This is one of them that I think, I do agree it probably would have done well. I do agree there's an audience for it, but I agree it'll make more money later on.
Yeah, for sure. Tyler?
Yeah, I think they're probably doing it just to be extra safe. It is, I guess, I'm not shocked, but, if you do look at it, the movie would have made more in the UK anyway, I think, than it would have made here in the US, like without COVID, because the other Kingsman movies did really good overseas. So, the fact that they're all open over there, I guess it is a little odd, but like I said, they're probably doing it just to be safe, probably.
Yeah.
And as far as LA theaters, I could be totally off. I have a feeling they're going to open in September.
Yeah.
Apparently the governor, Newsom, he's doing like an announcement soon about like reopening. I have a feeling it's going to happen. In September.
I think it might as well. I feel like they just, I don't know. We've been in, and I was having this conversation yesterday as well. Yeah. We've been in this state of just like limbo and uncertainty with literally no plan. It's like half things are open, half things aren't open. Stuff hasn't really changed and no one's making decisions. So they like need to make a decision, regardless of what the implications are, whether it's closing everything down or reopening things. Like, I don't know. It's just weird that we're sort of in this very indecisive thing where nothing has changed. And it's not like what we're doing right now is having any positive effect on the pandemic and stuff. So
when is Dune slated for release?
Dune is slated for
December.
Yeah, December. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that hits release date?
Can we just like really quick talk about those?
Oh wait, I forgot. I'm sorry. Here you go. Here we go, folks.
The GIF from well, I'll show you guys both. Hi everyone. Here's a GIF of Oscar Isaac that I just think is important for everybody. Just unrelated. But then we got this new still from Dune. Look at his beard, you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a lot of feelings. No one needs to know this, but I'm going to share it anyway. When I saw that photo, I started instantly crying.
What?
I acknowledge that that's psychotic behavior. I want everyone to know that I know that. But that was my body's reaction, was just to get damp. Take that how you will. I also started sweating and had to go lower the temperature at my job because he looked like
you had a physical reaction to the picture of Oscar Isaac. We get it.
And
it's okay.
I really need Dune to come out because I need to deal with whatever that is going to do.
Well, you'll get the trailer here in a few. I think next week.
I think September 9th. I think they're releasing it online.
Yeah, I think that's
before Tenet.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, before Tenet.
I was supposed to get the trailer with the Inception 70mm, and then they kind of ixnayed that and just did the 14-minute featurette. Which I was happy for that, but I thought I was going to get a new spot for Dune.
Well, I don't know. Hopefully they stick to their word this time. I have no idea. But Amy from the movie checklist is in there. Hey, Amy, how's it going? Saying cases in LA are somewhat dropping, so I agree with Tyler that theaters are opening soon. Yeah, I think that's it's fair. I agree. They are somewhat dropping. I mean, obviously there's still a pandemic out there, but I feel like I don't know. It just feels like less of a. I don't know. Like my girlfriend's mom, who works in the medical field, said there was like only like 5 people in the hospital who had it, and they were all in contact with each other. So it feels like, I don't know. Maybe things are getting better. I have no idea, but we'll see. Fingers crossed. Because I miss theaters, and I don't want to have to travel 5 hours every time I want to see the next big movie.
Yeah, we're looking for one person on the show to do that.
Yeah. We know.
I don't want to fly to every movie.
Listen, there's actually 2 people on the show who are going to do that. I am flying to Vegas on Monday to go see Tenet. So thank God for that. So, okay, Zeke.
It's going to be playing in Vegas on Monday?
Yeah.
I'm going to be in Vegas on Monday for like totally unrelated thing.
Why?
I'm going.
Don't go to the roulette table. Don't go to the roulette table.
I'm gonna be there. My flight doesn't leave till like 11:30. Let's go see Tenet too.
Okay, we'll get tickets. I'll say we'll sort this out later. That's hilarious. That's really funny. Anyways, Zeke Gonzalez and Zaldi asking Nightwing or Red Hood. I personally like Nightwing more. I am more of a Red Hood guy.
Who are those people?
In the
Bat
family. In the Bat family. Nightwing is grown-up Robin, and Red Hood is anti-hero Robin that almost got killed by the Joker. So, anyways, Red Hood would be my option on that. I just think he's got a more interesting story, but I love Dick Grayson, so I also like Nightwing. Okay, going on to the final news topic here. I almost forgot we were talking about movie news for a second. This stream is sort of all over the place. But the final movie news topic that we're talking about here, Resident Evil. So we're getting a Resident Evil Netflix series. It's confirmed. Netflix confirmed it in a statement, and they're developing a live action series based on Capcom's game series of the same name. The show will feature an entirely original story in a new universe, separate from the video games and the movie franchise, that will be told across 2 timelines. The first timeline that the show will explore features it'll follow 14-year-old sisters Jade and Billy Wesker, who moved to the industrial city of corporatized Raccoon City, and quickly discover that their father and the city both harbor dark secrets that could bring the end of the world as they know it. Then the second timeline will follow Earth 16 years after the first timeline, when there are less than 15 million humans living amongst over 6 billion monsters. They're the formerly human and animal, infected with the daily pathogen called the T-virus. A 30-year-old Jade struggles to navigate and survive this apocalyptic reality while continuing to decipher the secrets of Raccoon City, her father, and her sister that have to deal with the current state of the world. So it seems like, we'll kind of be like jumping back and forth between these 2 timelines and stuff like that. So anyways, Tyler, going to you first, I don't know how familiar you are with the Resident Evil games, but I'm sure you've watched the movies though, right?
I only know like the movies, and I mean some of them are kind of fun, but I feel like even if the Netflix series isn't that great, it's going to be way better than the movies. So I'm kind of excited, I guess. I really don't know the mythology or what you were saying. I'm really not familiar with it too much, but hey, I think it's pretty excited about it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like this is needed to happen for a very long time. Like Resident Evil
hasn't happened.
Yeah. I mean, like the only being like surface level familiar with the games, and seeing what it sort of became in the movies. It strayed too far away. It sort of took on a life of its own. I understand there's a cult following, but the movies weren't all that good. And I feel like this is a fresh start for them to establish something new. I don't know. The story sounds interesting with these 2 sisters, and then like the obviously the future timeline where it's like the T virus is really spread, and she's like sort of like uncovering the secrets of her family. So I don't know. It just sounds like they have more of a plan going forward with this one. But Kaleena, I don't know how familiar you are with Resident Evil, but does this interest you just based off of premise alone?
Yeah, I'm not very familiar, to be honest, but it does sound interesting. And based on what you're saying, I think that Netflix sounds like the right home for something like that. So I don't know. I don't really tend to naturally gravitate towards series with that concept, but depending on the creative team that gets behind it, it definitely piques my interest.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it also has some of the people involved in so Andrew Dabb, who he's been confirmed as the showrunner, and he's best known as one of the head writers on Supernatural. So like obviously that's good because I mean that show deals with stuff of that nature and such. And he's a massive Resident Evil fan. It's his favorite game of all time. So like you're getting the passion and love of a fan making the series, so that's promising. And then Brownin Hughes is going to direct the first 2 episodes, and I believe that they worked on as a television director on Breaking Bad, Teen Wolf, Hawaii Five-0, and The Walking Dead. So like again, we've got like capable talent in here. So yeah, I think it's going to be good. And as someone who's not like the biggest Resident Evil fan, I think it's deserved a proper adaptation for a while. So I'm happy he's finally getting it. But anyways, guys, let us know all your thoughts and opinions on Resident Evil, the series, down in the comment section below, if you have any. Okay, so before we close out, we are going to be taking your live questions for probably about 15 more minutes or so. So start sending them in. Start sending them in and everything you want us to discuss while Tyler...
I have a question.
loses his mind about something. Yes.
No, you probably already talked about it, but I just watched the trailer yesterday for it. I think Enola Holmes looks awesome.
Oh, I actually haven't talked about it.
Have you seen the trailer for that?
Yeah, I thought it looks great.
Pretty sweet.
For what?
Enola Holmes,
the one with Millie Bobby Brown and Henry Cavill.
I have no idea what this is.
You should absolutely watch the trailer.
It's about
really good.
What's the first word you're saying? Enola?
Enola, yeah, she's the younger sister of Sherlock Holmes, I think, because Henry Cavill's playing Sherlock.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know how I feel. Okay, hold on.
Sam Claflin's in it. Like,
yeah.
It got some hate. I did see some people who were hating on it, but I thought it looked pretty solid, man. I kind of like how she's breaking the fourth wall, and it just looks fun.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing for me is it just looks like it has a lot of style, has a lot of energy. It's like with that. What'd you say?
Sorry, he looks really handsome. That was just my.
Oh. I was gonna say it looks like basically what the Nancy Drew movie should have been.
Yeah, dude.
You know?
Yeah. I think it's gonna be pretty solid.
Yeah, I digged it. I digged it. I dug it. I thought it was a fun trailer. And Daniel Pemberton's doing the music, so I'm extra excited for that.
That's gonna be good.
Yeah, so I definitely like that. But yeah, guys, keep sending in your questions and all that stuff. I don't know. Was there anything? What have you guys been watching lately?
What about I'm Thinking of Ending Things? I can't wait to see that. You've seen it.
I'll tell you what. I recorded my review. Guess how long that review is? I'm not even joking. I couldn't cut it down. But guess how? Yeah, it's an hour. My review for that movie is an hour long. Yeah. And listen, I had to dive into spoilers because it's stupid. It's just a waste of your time if I talk about that film without spoilers.
Yeah, even the book is just like you really. It's just you can't describe it. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's right. Because you read the book. I'm actually really curious to see what your thoughts are on it.
I can't wait.
Yeah, no, I'm Thinking of Ending Things, I think, is probably my second favorite film of the year, right behind Calm with Horses. So
I was gonna say, what happened to Shadow of Violence?
Oh yeah, Shadow of Violence. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. Don't worry. But I do think that I'm Thinking of Ending Things has the best script of the year. It's definitely the most complex movie I've seen all year. Granted, I haven't seen Tenet, so you know, but it's really. I don't know. It's so dense and interesting. So I'm curious to see what the masses think of it because I think a lot of people are going to hate this movie.
Netflix is about to go on a roll here, like the next couple months.
Oh, you know what screener just came into my my queue recently? The Devil All the Time. So I'm very, very excited to watch that.
I forgot about that movie, dude.
Yeah, I'm really, really, really excited for that.
On Monday.
What did you say, Brig? What?
Vegas on Monday.
I honest to God, I probably will have my computer, so I probably will. I mean, I don't know if we'll have time to watch it. I'm literally flying there, and then I have like a couple of hours before the movie, and then I fly back at like 9:45 at night. So it's great.
My flight is like at 11:30 p.m. on Monday, so I'm very serious about
Well, go get your tickets to go see Tenet, and if people are in Vegas, then you know where we're going to be. So, anyways, okay, getting some questions here. All right, Zeke Gonzalez and Zaldi, what was your favorite and least favorite thing about college? Great question. I had a fantastic college experience. I think one of the main determining factors in where I went to school was the overall experience. So I went to Purdue University in Indiana, and I studied computer graphics, but that really wasn't, I like made up my major. That's a whole other story. But my favorite thing about it was like the people I met, just like the fun times that I had, like going out to bars, you know, when that was a thing. And it doesn't sound weird to say, oh, I went out to bars. And just like, you know, I don't know. It was a lot of fun. Like Saturdays going to football games, you know, just doing really stupid shit and just having fun the whole time. I mean, I don't know. It's the college experience, I think, is just like something that's really important. And I feel like you kind of grow as a person out of it. And yeah, I mean, again, I've met some of the most incredible people through, you know, going to college and stuff like that I'm still friends with. So I don't know. Kaleena, what about you?
So I'm still in college because I like briefly dropped out to go work in the industry for a couple of years, but I have 10 classes left, and God willing, I will be done and have my filmmaking degree in May. Least favorite thing is group projects. They are the bane of my existence. I'm extremely type A, if you guys have not figured that out about me. So a group project to me means I just tell them that I'll do it and we'll email them when it's done. My favorite thing, probably the professors, honestly. I'm still really close with my professors because I went to community college too. I got my associate's degree and now I'm at Columbia College out here in Chicago, which is amazing. But professors, I think especially professors who work at community colleges where they're making no money, but they care so much. And I will never forget my first ever, because I'd been homeschooled most of my life. So my first class I started when I was 16, and it was a history 101 class. And I got through about 2 weeks of class, and my professor pulled me to the side, and he said, "You do a lot better in class when I make it about a movie that you've seen." Yeah. And at the time, I was really deep in my DiCaprio phase, and Django was came out the year after I started. So I don't know. He was great and understood what kind of student I needed to be. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, the student professor relationships I think are invaluable in the connections you make for sure. Tyler, I don't know. What about you?
Yeah, I think my favorite thing, or the thing I miss most about college is the structure. There's a structure for your life, and you kind of live by it. And when you get out, there's really no structure to life, and it's kind of weird. I do kind of miss the structure sometimes, but I'd say that's probably my favorite thing. Least favorite, probably it's lame, the work, I guess. Even though I kind of like just I guess studying, not the work, but studying.
Yeah, exams.
I just remember those nights, man, where it's just you feel nervous, right before a test.
Or taking classes that just literally have nothing to do with what you want to do, and it's just a waste of time.
Yeah,
it sucks so much. Yeah,
those are the worst.
Last semester, I fought with a professor because he gave me an A on a paper, and I said that I could do better. And he's like, "What do you mean you have an A?" And I was like, "But I have a new angle, and I can get an A+." And so even though he didn't give me permission, I rewrote a 7-page essay and resubmitted it for an A+.
Wow.
I did not do that.
I don't know if I would have done that either. You're far more dedicated than we are, but
I'm crazy. Not dedicated.
Let's see. Okay, 402 asking favorite David Lynch film.
Oh, the weird ass monkey thing he put on Netflix.
The weird ass monkey thing. I don't know.
Like a 10-minute short or something like that.
It was a short
film. I have showed that to everyone that has breathed within my radius. I think it's the best thing that I've ever seen. It's so bizarre and it's so just deeply David Lynch. He was Mulholland Drive, right? That was him?
Yes.
Then that one, but also the monkey thing.
The monkey thing. Tyler, do you have one?
It's hard, man. I flip back and forth. I'd probably say right now, it's tough. I mean, it's hard not to go with probably Blue Velvet. It's either that or Mulholland Drive. The two flip back. Twin Peaks is awesome. I don't know.
Honestly, Twin Peaks might be the best thing he's ever created.
It probably is. As a whole, but movie, I guess probably Blue Velvet.
Yeah, I was thinking either Blue Velvet or
The Elephant Man's great though. That's his most successful movie.
Yeah,
Eraserhead. Yeah.
Mulholland Drive though is also just so good.
There's nothing like it. There's no other movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you could say that for a lot of his filmography though. No one makes a movie like David Lynch, so it's No, I agree. Good question. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Jay Manley asking, who's your favorite James Bond and who should play the next James Bond? Okay, so my favorite is Daniel Craig, obviously. Love that guy. The person who I think should play the next one is Richard Madden. I'd love to see Richard Madden. Or I think Henry Golding could do a really, really good job too. I would love to see that. So Kaleena, do you have someone that you think would be a great Bond?
Henry Golding. I was not mad about the idea of Idris. I would love to see that. Yeah. And I'm just always going to say Oscar Isaac for any questions. So.
Yeah. Fair enough.
They're on who I love right now.
Yeah, Oscar Isaac that's not bad. It's not a bad choice.
He's a weird height for Bond, actually. I retract my statement. I don't think it would work.
He's a little short. Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
little short. You know, he would be. I still think he'd be the perfect Nathan Drake. Like that. That's just like for Uncharted. Give me that. I want that movie, not the Tom Holland one. But
Tom Holland, tiny.
that's just it's just bad. I know. I don't like it. I don't like it. Tyler, do you have a favorite Bond and then a person you want to have play the character?
Yeah, Daniel Craig, and then next Bond, Mark Wahlberg. I'm joking. I would say, for me, I told you this already, Griffin. Paul Mescal from Normal People.
Yeah,
that
that's
new
right.
guy.
I remember.
Yeah, he'd kill it. He would kill it. Irish actor. It'd be sick.
I'm just picturing Mark Wahlberg as Bond, like killing someone and being like, "Say hello to your mother for me."
Say hello to your mother for me.
It's hilarious.
DP Gator says Kelvin Harrison Jr. and yes, because Griffin and I have very strong feelings about Waves, so I support Griffin and we co-sign on this idea.
I'll co-sign that. I like Kelvin Harrison Jr. The only thing that I don't like about that casting choice is he's not British. So.
Oh, is that really important to you?
It is. I think the character is such an integral part of British pop culture, and so much of like, you know, the stuff that he like goes through is like part of his Britishness. Okay. So I think it's important. Or if he's not British, I mean, Australian is fine. We've had an Australian Bond before. I feel like anyone that comes from like, you know, the what do you call that? Is it not the colonies? The
I know what you're trying to say, but I can't.
I can't word it. Like places like you know, like Ireland, Scotland, the UK in general, and then obviously Australia and stuff like that. I feel like that, like being a part of that culture, helps with the portrayal of the character.
The British Isles.
The British Isles, I guess. Yeah, something like that. I can't remember. Anyways,
yeah, I would Henry Golding. That would be an amazing.
Henry Golding is like an inspired choice. Like that would be really, really cool to see.
Because he's Dev Patel.
He's not too young, and I think he can age into the role with like a new 3-4 films really well.
Yeah, 100%.
A little like.
But he's too old. He's just too old now. I mean, he's older than I think he's older than Daniel Craig, or he's like close to his age.
Yeah, around the same age.
Yeah. Dev Patel, I don't really. I don't know if I like it. I think he's just like really skinny. Yeah. It's the same reason why I don't like Tom Hiddleston in that role. I just think he's just, I don't know. It doesn't feel right to me. But very skinny and well, Hiddleston's squirrely. But anyways, a couple more questions here, guys. That we'll close out. So Marshall Boy asking, I saw Shawshank Redemption for the first time. Thoughts? Griffin, good review, by the way. Is it still in your top 10? I don't know if it's in my top 10 anymore. I've seen so many movies that are just like have like impacted me in different ways. But thanks for going back and watching that. That's a really old review. Very, very. I look terrible in that review, but I'm glad you enjoyed the video. Anyways, yeah. What do you? I know Tyler. This is like one of your favorite movies of all time.
Top 3 of all time. Yeah, I can watch it like every day. It's so good. Yeah, great movie.
Yeah.
I love it, but it's also like default white bro cinema. It's like the same thing you love, like Pulp Fiction or Shaw. Like if you have a dad, your dad loves Shawshank Redemption. I promise.
Yeah, it's my dad. Yeah, you're right. It's my dad's favorite movie. You're right.
He feels personally attacked by this.
No, she's right.
I believe it's still the highest rated film on IMDb, unless the Marvel movies are done. No, it's great. I don't
It
is,
new to say that hasn't already been said about it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it is just one of those things where it's like when you watch it for the first time, it is like it is an experience. You are like sort of overwhelmed and taken back by it. And yeah, I mean, like I absolutely love it. Is it in my top 10 though? Yeah, I don't think so. Not anymore. I think when I watched it definitely was. I was on such a high because I'd gone like years without seeing it, and then I watched it like back in 2017 or something, and just like taken back by it. So yeah. Anyways, glad you liked it though. Really, really glad you liked it. Okay, and I think we'll close out. Yeah, the Falcons jersey. Yeah, that's right. I was wearing a Falcons jersey because I think they had just played that day. So yeah. All right, I think we're going to close out on this one from the Geeky Gator, who says, with many theaters likely closing down after this worldwide and streaming slowly gaining more ground, do you think any movie will be ever able to beat Avengers Endgame's opening weekend and other records? Great question. A lot to sort of dissect there. Is it possible for something to beat Endgame's opening weekend? Yes. Will it be a long time before a film does that? Yes. I don't know how long it'll be before something like that happens, but I think this pandemic has made sure that it'll probably be another 10 years, honestly. But I don't know, Kaleena, what do you think about this?
That would have been my exact response.
Oh, really? Nothing to add? Nothing more to add? Nothing at all?
Sorry.
Really?
I agree.
Not even a little bit more to add?
As long as James Cameron is alive and making films, he will dedicate the rest of his career to reclaiming his title.
Yeah, Avatar is the next one.
In my house, please.
Ugh, God, we don't want Avatar. Tyler, do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. It will be passed one day, but it's just going to take a lot of time.
Yeah.
Time.
I guess the question is, what do you think could do it? Right? Like it has to be something that has the energy of like an Endgame.
Yeah, or just like but it's always the stuff you don't expect. It's like so hard to, because like Avatar, who would have thought that would, it's just like, it's a weird movie, and the fact that it did what it did. And like the MCU, you never could have predicted that it would be something like that.
It's going to have to be something crazy, like someone important is going to have to be like on the verge of death or get kind of mangled in an accident and then come back with their like redemption story.
Yeah.
Or like Tarantino's really going to have to commit to like whatever he does as his last film being his last hurrah. Do I think a film would beat out Endgame? No, but it would have to be marketed as like a canvas event.
You know what it could be? It could be Cameron actually could do it here in the next couple years, because he wants to do that thing where it's 3D without the glasses, and if that does happen, that's when people are going to flock to the theater.
I want Cameron to go back to the 90s and stay there.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. It's really sad that we haven't gotten another movie from James Cameron in
I know,
since Avatar in over 10 years.
Better.
Anyways, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in to this special Thursday Film Forum. Really appreciate it. Appreciate all the questions you asked, and all the comments that you left as well. And then for those of you who wished me a happy birthday, I really appreciate that as well. And then thank you to my two panelists for joining me today, Kaleena and Tyler. Kaleena, where can everyone find you online?
At Shut Up Kaleena across the board.
Yep. Anything you want to plug? Anything at all? Do you have anything else to add to that?
Yes. I'm now writing with Griffin team for FilmSpeak, which is very exciting. I'm so pleased to have the opportunity. And I got 2 more interviews that I should have ready to go by the end of this week or early next week.
That's right. Yeah.
We're doing features and editorials. So keep an eye on the FilmSpeak site because we're having a lot of fun over there.
Yes, we are. And yes, you have that interview with Richard Tane or whatever for Chemical Hearts coming out.
Yeah,
so
it's long.
It's good.
25-minute interview, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Good stuff. Tyler, my God, we're graced with your presence here today. The Tyler Tompkins. Where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Variety. No, you can find me on
Twitter,
Instagram, Letterboxd. Especially Letterboxd, everyone needs to get one of those by searching my name, Tyler Tompkins. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Find me on there.
Yeah, you can do that. And then also, if you haven't done so already, be sure to like this video, share with your friends, and subscribe to the FilmSpeak channel and all that good stuff. And then you can also find FilmSpeak on Facebook and Twitter. Just search FilmSpeak. And then lastly, if you like me specifically and you like what I have to say, you can follow me on Twitter at Griff Schiller. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this installment of Film Forum. And until next time, take care.